You know someone's truly iconic whenever their hair getting messy. Madam Beckham's a trending topic. Caitlin Clark doesn't just play with confidence, she lives it. And if you ask her, the best part of that viral moment where she joked about her hair wasn't the million Seth views or comments. It was that she made herself laugh first. That right there is what sets Caitlin apart. In an era where every move is dissected online, she keeps it simple. Stay grounded, stay real, and above all, stay. So when the media starts spinning stories, twisting sound bites, and trying to craft a narrative for her, Caitlin Clark doesn't play defense. IFRA here for the real story and not filtered version. Subscribe, and IFRA is sticking around for the next meltdown. You better definitive. In a recent interview that's already making the rounds, Clark didn't hold back. She tackled everything from her public image to the drama with Kelsey Mitchell's family. And yes, she wasn't there, not in a petty, dragged-out Twitter feud kind of way, but with a kind of quiet confidence that lets Yak know she's not here to be anyone's scapegoat. Let's get one thing clear. The tension in the Indiana Fever locker room didn't start with Caitlin Clark, but the spotlight followed her there from day one. She was hailed as the savior, the ratings queen, the face-off league. And while some players welcomed that energy, others, well, not so much. Whispers about chemistry ensued, side eyes during timeouts, and even family members hopping on social media to throw shade. That's not just locker room friction. That's personal. Kelsey Mitchell's family taking shots in line wasn't just messy, it was reckless. And while Caitlin could have clapped back, she didn't. Instead, she addressed it her way by speaking truth without stooping low. She said it plainly. She's here to win, not to trade bubs, and as far as she's concerned, fans in the arena matter more than trolls with burn accounts. What's wild is that this all unfolded while Caitlin was battling injuries, rehabbing behind scenes, and still managing to show up for her teammates. She wasn't just fighting for minutes, she was fighting for her body, her role, and her peace. But even through the chaos, she stayed rooted. When asked about the media noise, she shrugged. Social media isn't trail, she said. The real fans are Theons, in the stands, the ones sending letters, the little girls who run up for autographs. Boom, that's perspective. And it's not just words. Caitlin lived it at a recent game. She stayed nearly 30 minutes after the final buzzer to sign autographs, kneeling down, taking selfies, chatting with kids who had tears in their eyes. No cameras needed, no press release, just pure gratitude. In that moment you saw the difference between hype and heart. But make no mistake, Caitlin's got edge, too. She's not afraid to laugh at herself, sure, but she's also not afraid to call out false narratives. That viral moment with Taylor Swift at the Chiefs game, she cleared that up. People thought I was fangirling or something, she said, laughing. I was literally explaining a penalty flag to her. Of course she was, because while everyone else was building stories, Caitlin was just being Caitlin. She even brought up her old high school soccer cleat, a nod to the athlete she used to be, and a foundation that still drives her. Those cleats had holes in them, she said, but I was proud of them. They got me where I needed to go. That is kind of throwback you don't hear often. No glamour, no glamour, no filters, just Araminda. That greatness doesn't start in a spotlight. It starts in the dirt, in the grind, in the overlooked moments. And if we're talking overlooked moments, let's talk about how she's reshaping the narrative for female athletes. Caitlin Clark isn't just playing basketball. She's rewriting the rules for how athletes, especially women, are allowed to be perceived. She can drop 30 points and crack a joke in the same breath. She can show up to the SPS in heels, then show up to practice with rap quad and still lead the team in assists. That's not duality, that's dominance. So when people ask, is Caitlin Clark overrated, or does she deserve alpha's attention? The answer isn't just in the stat sheet. It's in the way she carries herself, in the way she handles critics, fans, teammates, and pressure all at once. It's in the way she turns tension into teachable moments and trash talk into motivation. She doesn't just talk about authenticity, she iced authenticity, and that's what makes a drama with Kelsey Mitchell's family so. It's not just a clash of personalities, it's a clash of principles. Caitlin won't get dragged into a mess for headlines. She won't trade jabs a trend on TikTok. She's too busy showing up, staying locked in, and letting her game do the talking even when she's sidelined. Her leadership shows up in how she supports the team, pushes herself to rehab, and stays involved in every timeout and practice film session. That's the real power move. Not throwing shade, not subtweets, just relentless focus on growth. And for anyone wondering if Caitlin's confidence is an act, here's a hint, it's not. She's had it since high school, since before the brand deals, before the televised games, before theater crowds. It's the same confidence as that led her walk into the WNBA as a rookie and immediately shift the energy. Not just Indiana, but across the entire league. She's building something bigger than basketball. A blueprint maybe for how to be vulnerable but fierce, grounded but fearless, competitive, but the fact that she's navigating fan pressure and internal team drama while still being the most talked about player in women's basketball, that's nothing. That's legendary. And let's be clear, This isn't just about Caitlyn versus Kelsey or Twitter, beef, or locker room politics. This is about leadership, about who steps up when the cameras are off, about who owns their story instead of letting others write it for them. Caitlin Clark isn't just defending her name, she's defending the future of what women's basketball can look like when players are allowed to be full, flawed, outspoken human beings. And if that threatens a few egos along the way, so be it, because she didn't come to be liked, she came to lead. And Caitlin Clark leading, oh, she's doing that with precision of a conductor and the confidence of a woman who knows exactly what she's worth, even when sidelined. She's shaping the tone of the Indiana Fever on the court, in the locker room, and across the national narrative. It's no longer just about the numbers Shep puts up. It's about how every game Shep plays or doesn't play ends up dominating headlines. Here's the thing, people forget about leadership. It doesn't always come with unanimous applause. Sometimes it looks like uncomfortably constant icy locker rooms, and teammates who aren't quite sure how to handle a spotlight they didn't ask for. Clark didn't demand be the face of the WNBA, her performance did. And that kind-of attention brings a pressure most athletes spend careers trying to avoid. But Clark, she's embracing it. She's not waiting for the WNBA to evolve around her. She's pushing it forward herself. Look at how she's already. It shifted what a rookie season looks like. The league hasn't strong first years before, but few with this level of cultural crossover. Caitlin Clark is pulling in fans who have never watched a WNBA game before. She's making 80-year-old girls feel like Hoth Court belongs to them and making 48 men tune in just to see what fuss is about. That's not just star power, that's movement level impact. And yet she carries it all with a kind of Midwestern realness that feels rare in today's hyper-curated sports media world. No fluff PR statements, no robotic interviews. When she's scared at her questions, she gives thought. When she's doubted, she doesn't lash out. She locks in. But what really sets her apart is her emotional intelligence. She knows when to joke and when to draw the line. She knows when to take the high road and want to let the world know I heard that, and I'm not going to pretend I didn't. She didn't clap back at Kelsey Mitchell's familiar out of pettiness. She addressed it Toddro a boundary. That's mature. That's smart. That's how you survive. Not just in sports, but in life. Still, the drama hasn't gone away entirely. Tension within the team remains. Some teammates feel she's received preferential treatment from the coaching staff and office. Others believe Shedaku's every ounce of attention bears of what she brings to franchise. What's undeniable, though, is that Caitlin Clark has changed the way the Fever report, from the type of offense they run to the way they prepare for road games to the sheer number of media requests the team now receives. And with all that change comes resistance. Because when someone new walks in and completely redefines as a culture, people who were used to being the stars or at least staying comfortable in the background suddenly have to adjust. That's not easy, that's human. And Caitlin, she's navigating that minefield with the poise of someone twice her age. You can see it in how she talks about the teammates. She's never thrown anyone to bus, even when it would have been easy to do so. When asked about ball distribution or play calling, she keeps it team-focused. When asked about drama, she pivots to solutions. And when pressed for a gotcha headline, she delivers quotes that inspire fans rather than divide them. But this story isn't just about what Caitlin's handling, it's about what she's building. There's a bigger game being played here, because every autograph she signs after a game, every little kid she inspires, every young athlete who sees themselves in her, it's all part of something that will outlast her rookie season. It's part of a legacy in the making, and Thelig knows it. That's why her jersey outsells veterans. That's why her jersey outs is suddenly broadcast in prime time. That's why major brands want her face, her voice, and her story. She's a kind of athlete who makes every owner around her elevate or get left behind. That includes the media. To remember the early days of a season when critics said she was struggling to adjust or avert gift. Notice how those voices got a lot quieter as the season progressed. That's what happens when results speak louder than narratives. Clark didn't respect, she earned it. And now, whether you love her or hate her, you have to acknowledge her. But what happens next? That's the question, because as much as this season's been about growth, it's also exposed how much work the WNBA still needs to do when it comes to supporting its stars. From better medical care to more proactive conflict management. From smarter strategies to more equitable team environments. There's still a gap between the league's ambitions and its infrastructure. Caitlin Clark can't fix all that herself, but what she can do is be the catalyst. She can keep showing up, keep speaking up, and keep reminding Liga what it looks like to build something bigger than yourself. She's already doing it. And if the WNBA is smart, it'll build with her, not around her. Still, that doesn't mean she's spared from criticism. And she knows what makes Caitlin's story powerful isn't that she's flawless. It's thought she's flawed and focused. She makes mistakes as off nights, rolls her eyes at bad calls, but she owns it. She learns, she bounces back, and she never lets it define her. That kind of resilience, that's what's going to keep her relevant long after the headliners fade. So when people say it gets personal, they're right. Because Caitlin Clark's rise isn't just about Pascal, it's about identity, it's about growth. It's about what it means to be a woman in a sport that's still learning how to respect its women fully. And as she continues to evolve on thick pots in the press, in the locker room, she's teaching everyone watching a masterclass in Grace Under Fire. So yeah, the title's not wrong, it did get personal, but Caitlin Clark, she took it personally and turned it into power. The thing that sets Caitlin apart beyond the shooting range and vision and feel fourth game is her ability to reframe pressure as purpose. Most rookies come out to a professional league hoping to serve. She came in and redefined what survival looks like by setting fire tough expectations people had, burning through noise and still coming out poised and sharp on the other side. And she doing it all in the middle of a media circus. Every gesture, every box score, every sideline exchange is picked up hard like this is a Zuda film. Did Shek up too hard? Did she look frustrated at a teammate? Why did she pause before and swang that question? Everyone wants to decode Caitlin Clark, but very few are actually listening, because here's what she's really been saying from day on. I'm here to compete, I'm here to lead, I'm here to win. Simple, direct, powerful, and yet so optimistic. Why? Because people keep expecting her to play by the old rules. Smile, stay quiet, be grateful, don't rock the boat. But Clark isn't interested in being a polite passenger in her own career. She's the one driving bus, and anyone who doesn't like the route is free to get off. That includes teammates, opponents, media members, and even fans who came expecting some things. And yet, despite all that defiance, she never crosses a line, and she's still the one helping able kid with their shoelaces before tip-off, still the one hyping up her teammates during warm-ups, still the one staying 30 minutes after the buzzer isn't every single poster shoved in her direction. That's a duality that people can't seem to wrap their heads around. She's fierce but friendly, brutally competitive, but deep. A generational scorer who still cares about ball movement and shot selection. She is in every sense redefining what it means to be a superstar in women's sports. And that's where the ripple effect starts, because Caitlin Clark effect isn't just about packed arenas and ESPN graphics. That's about the conversations she's forcing people to have, about pay equity, about medical care, about radical care, about locker room dynamics, about marketing stridle and the way female athletes are framed in the public eye. She's not just challenging defenders on court, she's challenging gens off it. When she calls out a bad narrative, she's protecting the next generation of players from having to deal with the same tired stereotypes. When she shrugs off a viral comment from a rival's family, she's reminding a variant that not all criticism is worth absorbing. When she speaks openly about feeling exhausted or frustrated, she's saying it's okay for women in sports to be real humans, not just highlight real sand ponytails. And while the Kelsey Mitchell family drama might have been spark that reignited all of this, it's just one branch on the tree. The truth is that moment revealed something deeper. Clark is no longer just part of the NBA story. She is a story, and that makes people uncomfortable, especially the ones who had other plans for how the season would go. But discomfort is part of growth, and whether the league is ready for her or not, she's bringing that growth at warp speed. Just look at how her presence is forcing teams to evolve. Opponents now have to rethink entire game plans to contain her. Coaches are adjusting defensive schemes. Ticket prices spike when she comes to town. And suddenly, every post-game presser includes at least one question about her, even if she didn't play. That's impact. But her twist, it's not just about her, it's about everyone rising with her. Because for every doubter she silences, another young girl sees what's possible. For every troll she ignores, another brand realizes the power of fallowing with an authentic unfiltered athlete. For every gritty 22-point night she puts up with a sore leg, another sports exec starts thinking maybe one need to invest more in women's hoops. This isn't just a moment, it's momentum. And sure, she'll have more rough patches. There will be slumps, drama, fatigue, and people waiting to say, "See, told you she couldn't keep it up." That's how fame works. But Clark didn't sign up for easy. She signed up for excellence, and so far she's proving she's built for all of it. The applause, the pressure, and the pushback as the season winds on, the fever will continue to evolve. Roster shakeups, inevitable minutes will shift. Systems will be tested. But if the team is smart, they'll stop treating Caitlin like a novelty and start building a dynasty around her, because the blueprint is right in front of them. A self-aware, wildly talented, culturally magnetic player who makes everyone around her but when she's supported and trusted, that's not just a player you build around that, you protect it, you learn from that. And maybe, just maybe, you change the entire future of the league with that. In the end, the Mitchell family's comments were just static noise in an arena that's getting louder by the day. What really matters is what Clark does every time she lays up. Whether she's dishing out no-look assists, breaking press coverage with single crossover, or calmly navigating a media firestorm without losing her cool. That's greatness. That's presence. That's leadership. Raw and unpolished. Exactly how it needs to be in a sport that's still learning how to treat its stars. So, yes, it got personal.